Hello, lovely ladies, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Style Your Dreams podcast. This is Keri Blair, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. So, thank you for being here. So, today I wanted to share something. It's a journey I've been on, for years. I don't even know how many years, maybe a lifetime. But for sure, I can think of, I've been on this journey for at least 5 years consciously, probably 10 years before that unconsciously, probably since I was little in reality. And I hope you can relate to this. I'm sure many people can. But what I want to talk to you about today is the journey of trusting. The journey of trust. So when I say that, some of you might listen like, oh, the journey of trust. Yes, I have an issue trusting others, which is the case for a lot of people in the world. That's actually not what I'm talking about. Because yes, we all can realize that the journey to trust others is sometimes hard because we've had our hearts broken. We've been betrayed. We've seen behind the curtain, so to speak, and our trust has been broken. All of those things. But more importantly, the conversation I want to have with you today is the deeper relationship. It's the most important relationship that you'll ever have in this lifetime. And that is the most important relationship to have trust with. And for most of us, it's broken. That trust is not there. And the relationship I'm talking about is the one we have with ourselves. That's right, the relationship we have with ourselves. So let me just share with you a little bit about my journey. So I used to think that I trusted myself. And if you would ask me, I would say, yeah, I trust myself. And in fact, if I ask you, likely you would say, absolutely, you trust yourself. However, ask yourself this question: how often are you asking for second opinions? Because that's where we really find out how much you trust yourself. So in the past 5 years, what I've come to realize for myself is how often I would have a question. And I've been on a spiritual journey for, I don't know, probably 30 years. Consciously, 30 years. And it's deepened and deepened and intensified the work that I've done in the past, probably 10 years. And on this journey, because it's a new, fresh world in the past 10 years or even 30 years ago, and it's an unknown world, I have in the past tended to question myself, putting my trust, my faith in people more experienced than myself. You could relate this to business. If you're a business owner, maybe you have mentors or guides or experts that you go to them instead of trusting what you feel. This happens over and over for many people in the world. I definitely have done this. And I'm sure you've done it too. So in the beginning of my journey as a business owner, we could take that. I would go to people that I know and say, hey, I have this idea. I have this thing I think I should do. I think this idea would really work and improve our profits. What do you think about it? And getting someone else's feedback and taking their feedback more stronger. I would consider it more. It would be deeper than my own feedback. And I think now that I think about this, I feel like we've been groomed, if I can say that, groomed to not trust ourselves from society, from the world around us. The world, we can have opinions about something, but then something or someone else comes along and disagrees, and then we start to distrust what we thought. Because why? They're the expert. They know better than me. They've studied this longer. They've done X, Y, and Z. And so little by little, you learn to not trust yourself, and especially not trust your inner knowing, that inner self that is talking to you. And then over the years, the more we have discredited ourselves, put our faith and our trust in others who are more successful, more knowledgeable, wealthier, more in the public eye, whatever the case is for you, it doesn't matter. We put more of our trust and faith in them instead of ourselves. And then what happens is then we lose sight of our intuition. Our intuition starts to be quiet. What used to be a strong voice in our head guiding us, giving us the answers, became more like a whisper that you can barely hear. Like, hey, Keri, that's not the right way. I know all the experts are saying that's the way to go, but it's not. Listen to yourself and trust. But it's such a faint whisper, we don't even hear it, and we keep going the wrong direction. And the older that we are, and the more that we haven't trusted ourselves, the harder it gets to tap in, to trust, to follow our own path. You see, the experts don't mean us harm. Nope, they're just sharing their experience. But when we put our wholehearted trust and faith into them, who have a different life experiences, who have different thought processes, who have different lifetimes, they are not us. So their opinion is completely valid from where they're standing, from their experiences. Even if we're talking about science, there are two different scientists who could look at the same thing and come up with different ways of looking at it, different beliefs about it, they could come up with different analysis of it. And I've really learned over my journey of learning to trust myself again. I've really stepped back when I listen to experts, when I've listened to podcasts or YouTube videos or something that I'm trying to learn. And I step back, I kind of zoom out and think, is that true? Or is that true for them because of their life experiences and everything that they've been taught and told? There are a million ways to do most things in life. And when you discredit yourself and you give more power to other people's opinions, to what other people say, you stop trusting yourself, and your intuition gets quieter and softer. And then it becomes non-existent. And then one day you wake up. Oh, by the way, before you wake up, so that starts happening, and then you keep reaching out to other people. I love hiring coaches. I'm a firm believer in it. But you hire coaches, and some coaches hire 5 coaches. You hire psychics. You go to different healers. You do X, Y, or Z. I have done all of these things. And I've done all of these things because my relationship with myself was, how do I say this? It was challenged. It was frayed. It was disconnected. So I was always looking for the answers of what's best for me from other people. But how are they to know what answers are the best for me? How are they to know what's the right decision for me? Now, let's talk about scenarios when this really works. When your intuition is spot on, your connection to source is spot on, your higher knowing is spot on, and then you seek out guidance, that collaboration could be the most powerful collaboration ever. But that's because you're grounded in who you are. You're connected to your higher knowing. So when they tell you something that doesn't feel right, you say, no, that didn't feel right to me. And when they tell you something that feels like ding, 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 that was the missing key that I needed, that's the perfect marriage. That's the perfect collaboration. That is the perfect guidance. But you have to bring your full self to the table. You can't just surrender and rely on their guidance. Excuse me, I'm going to sip water for a second. And this comes from years and years of me not trusting myself. I have spent, oh my gosh, probably more than $100,000 over the past years seeking other people's guidance because I didn't trust myself. I didn't know where I was going. I needed someone else to tell me. And they told me, and in the moment that they told me, I felt relief. Excuse me. And then I would go down the path that they told me was the right path, and it never worked out. Why? Because I was relying on them. So recently, probably in the past couple years, but really in the past couple months, it's been the strongest it's ever been, is that I've learned to trust what I say. And I think, just to share a story with you, for those of you who don't know, my mom was a healer and a guide of sorts for many, many years. And she was my trusted advisor in life. If I didn't feel well, I would call her. If I needed advice for business, I would call her. If I needed a breakthrough, I would call her. I would ask her to help heal me, my business, my relationships, everything. Excuse me. I would rely strongly on her to help guide me to the path that I was supposed to be on. I loved that. I love my mom. I relied on her so much. And then she died. Yep. In 2021, she passed away suddenly, and I was left to my own devices. Oh, it makes me emotional right now. I was alone. I was alone trying to navigate what I had never navigated, which is, how do I know the answers? See, there was nothing. Yes, my mom was tapped in and she was magical, but I could do that for myself. I just had never known myself as that. I had never empowered myself to be that. So the journey was difficult. And at first I was looking for other outside sources once she passed. Like, who else is that tapped in? Who else is that connected? I can't even tell you the number of psychics I've been to in my lifetime. And if you are someone going from psychic to psychic to psychic, I get it. I get it. So many people come to me and they're like, who's the most powerful psychic you know? You is the true answer. I can't believe I just said that out loud, but that is the true answer. Only you know what's right and true for you. And in fact, you could go to psychics or coaches who will tell you what you want to hear, and that will lead you down a path. And that path could be the right path, and it could be the perfect path. And you could also go to some that will lead you down the wrong path and not the perfect path. Well, I guess they're all perfect paths because they're all going to lead you to where you need to go for whatever lessons you need to learn, because the universe is always conspiring in your favor and for what's great and true for you. And now I use psychics for entertainment. And sometimes they tell me what I want to hear, and that gives me confidence. Like, yes, I'm going to kill it. Yes, that's awesome. But I don't rely on them like they have an answer I don't have. Because I've learned to form a relationship with myself. And when I talk about self, I don't mean this body, Keri Blair, who's 53 years old, lives in Denver, Colorado, who's lived this lifetime. No, what I'm talking about is my higher self, the big S self, the self that's connected to God and the universe, the self that is the most powerful person I know, that self. By the way, you're the most powerful person you know as well. So I started to form a relationship with myself, and the answers are profound. And if you still yourself, you get quiet, you too can get the answers. But you have to stop jumping to asking other people. Some people do this. Back when I was a stylist, I would always have clients that wanted another opinion. Like they would love how they looked, but they would ask other people for their opinion about how they looked. Which, who cares? Who cares what one other person thinks about how you look? I was having lunch with a girlfriend yesterday, and her hair was gray. And she was contemplating what to do with her hair. And she's like, it's gray right now. Do I color it? Do I leave it gray? This person told me I should color it. This person told me it's gray. And she was asking me what I thought she should do. Now, granted, I used to be her personal stylist, so it's valid that she would ask me this. And my answer to her was simple. What makes you feel the most beautiful? That's what you do. You have to quiet the noise around you and do what's true to you. Because I don't have to deal with the consequences if you color your hair. I also don't have to deal with the consequences if you leave it gray. I don't have to deal with any of the consequences of your life's decisions. You do. So if you take other people's opinions, which is fine, I think that's great at times, you must run them through your big S self and make sure they align with who you are and your life's journey. Because if not, you're just living someone else's life. So another story. I tend to, from time to time, I'm a spiritual being. From time to time, I have things that happen that are supernatural, strange. And from time to time, I get uncomfortable. And it's because I spent a lifetime not trusting myself and needing other people. For what? To clear my home, to clear me. There's some energy on me. There's some experience I'm having that I don't want. And I would always need someone else and almost feel desperate. Like, and by the way, if this doesn't happen to you, no problem. Think about where else you feel desperate in this conversation. So I would almost feel desperate, like if I can't find someone, I'm screwed. And recently I learned to breathe through it and say, God, what would you have me do? Higher self, what would you have me do? I am a powerful energy healer. I have all the tools that I need. So just tell me which one to pull out right now. And I will do that. That's the kind of guidance I now get, which is in, a powerful relationship with my higher self. It's not something outside of me. And you know what I've noticed? The more that I do this work, the more that I ask myself instead of others, the more I trust myself, the more my intuition has to say to me, the more in alignment I am with my goals and my vision and my future. So where have you not been trusting yourself? Where have you been allowing other people to steer the wheel of your car, so to speak? Where have you been allowing other people to determine what's best for your future? Where have you given up your power? Because ultimately that's what this conversation's about, is getting your power back. Back from where? Back from whomever you gave it away to. Call it back. You can do it right now. I call back my higher self, my power from any person, place, thing, energy, entity, situation I gave it to. I pull it back. I call it back to be with me, to integrate with me so that I can have all of me and trust myself again. You can at any time call your power back. Start trusting yourself. And just like you would form any relationship where you're recreating trust, you could talk to yourself the big S self in an empowering way and say things like, self, I trust you. I know you and only you have the answers to my journey. And I will trust what you have to say. And I'm going to start being more keen in my listening to you. I want to hear what you have to say, and I will trust it. That is a powerful relationship to form, and you can talk to it every day until your divine knowing and your intuition comes back in full force and provides that which you need provided for in your life in any given moment. Now, again, I am a coach and a healer, and people do come to me. And so this conversation does not mean you should not go to people who are experts in their field that can help you. But the real power comes when the people that you are seeking are helping you to get more in alignment with your true self, A, and B, when you're in a powerful partnership where together you create the answers, not where you're being told what to do all the time. Because so often we can rely on being told what to do. You are a grown-ass woman who does not need to be told what to do. Amen? Can I get an amen here? All you need is to trust yourself and trust your journey. If you started this journey today, you could be surprised and delighted how quickly it happens and how perfectly in alignment you feel when it does happen. Because all you need is the power of one, you. I'm going to add on to that, and the power of your relationship to source. Whatever source looks like for you, that powerful relationship and the power of yourself is all you need. And then you know what? You kick ass in life. You start making miracles happen. You start knowing where to go. You start knowing who to trust, who not to trust, which road to take, which one not to. You start to trust your journey. And from there, you, my friend, my dear love, you're limitless. And that is what you're here for, is to become a limitless being. Because who has put the limits on you? You. You. Even if you think someone else put the limits on you, they didn't. You had to have listened to them in order for the limits to get put there. See, if you try to put a limit on me and I don't listen to it, and I say, no, thank you, that doesn't fit for me, then there is no limit on me. It's only when I agree with what you're saying that the limit exists. So stop letting other people put limits on you, because you are a truly limitless human being. What you can accomplish is outstanding, out of this world, extraordinary. And that's what I want for you. So as we end today, I got inspired to pull a card from my beautiful card deck. So I have many card decks. This one that I like to use and that I recommend to a lot of clients is the Secret deck, because it's all about the law of attraction. And that's a great entry point for people into intuition, into divine guidance. So all I do is shuffle them, lay them out. Oops, I need to make room here to lay them out. And I'm going to pull one for us today, and we will see what shows up. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Kindness changes everything. Want to see your life change for the better today? Then be the kindest you've ever been to every person you encounter. I am a firm believer in this. In fact, we have a little saying on our kitchen counter, which we look at every single day, that says kindness matters. And I live by that. I think that the world would be an extraordinary place if everybody lived by this. Kindness changes everything. Want to see your life change for the better today? Then be the kindest you've ever been to every person you encounter. I'll write that in the show notes. And then just as a quick aside, I have 3 spaces available for one-on-one coaching this month. So if that's something that you're interested in or you want to engage in a conversation, spots will fill up quickly, but I'm available if you're ready to take your life to the next level. I love to combine how you're thinking about things, cause you to think differently about different scenarios and situations, with energy healing, because the mind only goes so far, and then you have to move the trapped energy to get in full alignment with who you really are. So there'll be a link below. You can schedule a call with me and we can see if we're the right fit. And as always, I think you're amazing. I love you. Thank you for being here and listening. I'd love to hear your breakthroughs. And if this podcast contributed one thing that made a difference for you, if you could please give me a 5-star review and share it with some friends, or even write a review, I would be very, very grateful. So thank you so much. I will see you next time right here on Style Your Dreams. Have an amazing day.